All right, today we're going to take a guided tour through a really fascinating and fast-growing world, non-surgical aesthetics. We're going to look at the materials from clinics that offer these treatments, peel back some of that marketing language, and see what the tech is all about. You know, the kind that promises huge results, all without ever going under the knife. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about making a cosmetic change, but the whole idea of surgery, the risks, the recovery, just felt like a complete non-starter? Well, if you have, you are definitely not alone. An entire industry, a huge one, has basically exploded to meet that exact feeling.
And you can see why, right? The core promise is just so appealing. Get these big, noticeable results, but without all the pain and the weeks spent recovering. It's a really powerful pitch. So let's take a closer look at what's actually on the menu.
Okay, we're going to start with probably the most popular category out there. Treatments that claim they can literally sculpt your body, targeting fat, and even building muscle, without a single cut.
First up is a technology called cryolipolysis. Now, you've probably heard of it by its much catchier nickname, fat freezing. And the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It all comes down to a basic fact. Fat cells freeze at a higher temperature than your other cells, like skin and muscle. So this tech uses a really controlled, intense cold to target and crystallize those fat cells you don't want, while supposedly leaving everything else around them totally unharmed. So how does it actually work? Well, it's presented as this simple three-step thing. First, a device cools a specific area and freezes the fat cells just under the skin. Second, those frozen cells basically crystallize and break down. And then, and this is the really key part, your body's own natural cleanup crew, the lymphatic system, just gets to work processing and flushing out those dead cells over the next few weeks. And what about results? Well, the claims are super specific. The clinic materials we looked at often bring up a 2009 study suggesting that just one treatment can reduce fat in that targeted spot by up to 25%. That is a very precise number, and it's definitely designed to grab your attention. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because you see how they position these treatments directly against the old-school surgical options. On one side, you have liposuction, surgical, painful, weeks of recovery. On the other side, they frame fat freezing as totally non-invasive, pain-free, with zero downtime. You can apparently just get up and go right back to your life. But hey, what if you want to do more than just get rid of fat? Well, this next technology claims to have you covered. It's usually called something like EMS body sculpting, and it uses what's called high-intensity focused electromagnetic technology, or HIEMT. And the goal here is pretty ambitious. It's supposed to burn fat and build muscle all at the very same time. And this chart really shows you that 1-2 punch they're talking about. The advertised results claim, on average, something like a 15% drop in fat, combined with a 16% increase in muscle mass right in that same area. Now, to really make that muscle-building claim hit home, the marketing uses this absolutely stunning comparison. They say a single 30-minute session is like doing, get this, 20,000 crunches or squats. It's a wild number, right? It's designed to make the tech feel almost superhuman. Okay, so that's body sculpting. Let's switch gears now and move from the body up to the face. We're going to explore the treatments that are all about turning back the clock on your skin.
I mean, it's the natural next question, isn't it? If you can get rid of fat without surgery, what about things like sagging skin or fine lines and wrinkles? Well, according to these clinics, the answer is a big yes.
So let me introduce you to HIFU. It stands for High Intensity Focused Ultrasound, and it's often sold as the non-surgical facelift. Basically, it uses focused sound waves to create a gentle heat way down deep in the skin. And that heat is supposed to kickstart your body's own natural healing process, telling it to create fresh, new collagen. You know, the stuff that makes young skin look so firm and bouncy.
Okay, but here's the really crucial detail that they always highlight. HIFU is said to target something called the deep SMAS layer. Now, why is that a big deal? Because the SMS is the foundational muscle layer of your face. It's the exact same layer that a surgeon physically cuts and pulls tight during a traditional surgical facelift. So they're basically saying this tech can do the same job, but with just sound waves. And honestly, this quote from the promotional materials just sums up the whole pitch perfectly. No cuts, no scars, just visible and long-lasting results. It's the dream, right? That's what they're selling.
And building on that idea is another technology you hear about a lot, called Morpheus 8.
This one's a combo deal. It uses both microneedling and radio frequency energy at the same time. So the thinking is the tiny needles create these microchannels, while the RF energy sends heat deep into the skin, basically doubling down on that collagen-boosting effect.
All right, let's move into our third section. Here we're going to look at how these same core ideas are being adapted for really specific precision jobs and even some more sensitive health issues.
Hey, remember that fat-freezing tech from the beginning? Well, here it is again, just miniaturized. The CryoPen uses that exact same freezing principle, but with the precision of a ballpoint pen, to target and zap away tiny, unwanted skin blemishes.
And the list of things they claim it can treat is, well, it's pretty long. We're talking everything from skin tags and moles to warts, milia, age spots, and sun damage. It's pitched as this super fast, super effective, and permanent fix for all these little annoyances.
And this is where you really see the core strategy of the industry. They take one good piece of technology and then figure out how many different ways they can use it. So that same HIFU ultrasound from the facelift, it's repurposed in a device for vaginal tightening. And that high EMT muscle contracting tech from the body sculptor, well, that gets used to strengthen the pelvic floor, to treat issues like incontinence and even erectile dysfunction. It's a really fascinating crossover.
Okay, for our final section, let's just pull the lens back a bit and look at the one single thread that ties all of these different treatments together. It's that huge, overarching promise of convenience. When you look at all the marketing, from the fat freezing to the skin tightening, these are the benefits you see over and over and over again. Non-invasive, pain-free, no downtime needed, fast, effective, no surgery, no anesthetic. This is the absolute core of what this whole industry is built on. Which, brings us to one last really big question. As all this tech gets more common, more powerful, and way more accessible, are we just looking at the new normal for how we take care of ourselves? Is a quick 30-minute procedure to tune up your face or body going to become as routine as getting a haircut? The future these clinics are selling certainly seems to think so. What do you think?